Welcome back to Coach Factory. This is the podcast where we talk about your coaching business, how to find more clients, have more fun coaching, and running the business behind it. And the technology, which can get a little overwhelming at times, which is why our guest today is so special. Rhonda Caudill is the micro agency sole proprietor of Vision and Momentum. She helps Christian coaches untangle and demystify the tech of our digitally connected world as it relates to your coaching business. In our interview, we talk about everything from search engine optimization to content strategy and why she likes Squarespace more than WordPress. I had to know the secrets behind what was engaging to her there. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Rhonda, thank you so much for joining me today on the Coach Factory podcast. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, we met on LinkedIn, but you have a really interesting history and interesting clients that you serve. Just give us a little overview.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I have what I call a micro agency. I want to be a freelancer forever. I don't want to have employees. And so I love to share the love and have other freelancers come in and help offer some of the services. But I specialize in websites and marketing and self-publishing support for speakers, authors, and coaches, specifically Christian speakers, authors, and coaches. And sometimes that's all one person. So my ideal client would be somebody who wants to get a book out into the world, get their expertise out in written form, to use that as a marketing tool to get them booked on stages and podcasts, and then they can sell to their people once they've gotten in front of people. But it's a tiny bit of an expensive business card if you look at it that way, but it's an excellent marketing tool. And it's not necessarily that you're going to be a New York Times #1 bestseller, but since the barrier to entry for self-publishing now is so low, my goal is to use all the industry expertise that I have and make your book indistinguishable, basically, from something that's been published by a bigger house that meets all of the standard conventions and is beautifully laid out. The typesetting is right and all of those things, and cut the learning curve by about 90% because I can walk you through the process and get you out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, having a book under your wing as a coach, just it up
Instant
levels.
credibility.
It is. It's establishing credibility. Yeah, I worked with an author years ago, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to make any money on the book, but this is my calling card. This gets me speaking engagements, and this is what
Exactly.
gets me clients."
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
may not make any money on the book. If your goal is to sell a ton of books and make a bunch of money, I can format it for you, and I might not be the person to help you market it because that's not really my thing. My thing is to get you visibility. My actual message is I want women to get their voice heard, and I believe God's given all of us very specific gifts that we're meant to share. My gift is helping you use yours. So I get to use all of my creativity and all my knowledge and my insatiable ability to learn new things and help you, again, cut the learning curve. Like, none of us become entrepreneurs because we want to be forced to learn all of the other things that come along with it. Like, I'm not a freelancer because I wanted to learn to do my own accounting, for sure. But I do it because it allows me the best platform to reach the most people and work in a way that suits my life. So I'm really, really blessed with that. I was
yeah,
very comfortable working from home before COVID ever hit. So I
yeah.
taught I taught my husband to use Zoom for the first time, which was a mistake.
And
Well,
now
my
it's
kids
just
also live 2,000 miles away, so we used that for Christmas morning too. So, you know,
yeah, yeah.
Zoom
That's great.
Zoom is one of the technological marvels of our day, and the fact that
It is.
there's still even a free version is amazing to me. So I'm very grateful for the technology that we have at our disposal.
For sure. It has, and it's definitely helped a lot of coaches who were previously just like
Oh,
sort of locked
completely.
in on their location of how they were doing sessions, and now it just opens up a whole new world of people they can connect with. So,
Exactly.
yeah. Are you
That's
now, what struggles with technology do you see a lot of coaches have?
Oh gosh, I actually have a whole talk that I do in person that my audience actually named. It was called Untangling Your Tech. They're like, this is what you should call this. And it's not that I'm going to swoop in and say, oh, here's the perfect tech stack for you. You should use this, and you should have this calendar, and you should have this email marketing. There's three things that I see people defaulting to. You're either a technophobe, like you're afraid to do any of it, and you just feel overwhelmed and you're like, I don't know, I'm not going to start. I'm not good at this. I hate it when people say, oh, I'm not techie, I'm not good at that. You know what? Everybody has gotten a new phone or a new remote control and hated it for about 20 minutes and then figured it out. Like you're going to be fine. So there's tons of help. There's people like me, there's online forums, there's all kinds of ways to solve that problem. It's a mindset issue, like most things that hold us back. Another one is people like me that are interested in everything. And we were talking before we started about trying some new tools for streaming and for webinars and all of that. The issue there is if you stay in that shiny object syndrome, you dabble and you try a lot of things. You sign up for the free trial, and then you never really give it your full attention to get it set up and to find out what it can really do for you. So those are the people that end up with paying for a lot of subscriptions in some cases that they're not using, or they've got things that overlap in the tools themselves overlap in what they offer. And sometimes we can eliminate one entirely and really put one to its best use and eliminate some of them. So I'm not looking to have people, I have affiliate links for a few of the things I really like, but I'm not looking to sell more technology to people. I'm looking to what do you really need to get you to your goal? And let's streamline that and create a really smooth, seamless experience for your client, but
For
also
sure.
something that's manageable for you so it doesn't feel overwhelming every time you sit down to be like, oh, I need to put out a new lead magnet. How do I do that? Because now I need social media graphics and I need emails and I need all the things to talk to each other. And I've become known in my circle as like the tech support person. I'm the go-to person to call if all your stuff is breaking apart, but that's not the only thing I ever want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do the exciting stuff and help you flesh out new ideas and figure out how to use your gifts in a better way and do that. But I digress. Um, and then the third one is the people who, and this kind of goes with the middle one, the people who are the bootstrappers.
Mhm.
Um, there are times when it makes sense to pay for the pro version of things. And we were talking about this before too. Sometimes it is so much easier if you just commit to something, learn how to use it, and put it to really good use. And you get so much more value by paying for it. You're wasting a lot of your valuable mental energy trying to make all the free versions work and talk to each other. And it's like, oh, I can only have 5 things in this account. And oh, this only connects to this thing. So now I have to use that. It's very limiting. It's fine if you are genuinely just trying things out for the first time to see how they work. But
Mhm.
once you figure out what your goal is and just what the pieces are that you need, then just
Yeah.
pick the right tool for the job. Maybe you have one that you go all in and you pay the pro version and you can get by with the free versions of the others. But there's a point where, and I'm not into manifesting. I mean, God gives us what we're supposed to have for gifts and blessings and abundance and all that. But there's a point where you're putting out energy that you're not attracting wealth and abundance to you if you're constantly like, oh, I'm only going to spend this and I want to keep the free thing.
Sure.
Sometimes it really frees you up in a lot of ways to invest in yourself and be open to, hey, sometimes I have to put in a little bit and invest in order to level up. And then
Yes.
I look like somebody at another level. And then you're functioning at that level because you've got some pro level tools behind you and you've learned how to use them. So,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've noticed in a lot of different businesses, like they'll, especially when you're just getting started, you'll get the lowest cost, the free options, and you'll just kind of like, Goldberg put things together so
exactly.
that they work. And then there comes a point where there are a number of tools out there that have everything. I think of like a
Right.
HubSpot that has
Mhm.
everything you could ever want, but it
Mhm.
doesn't go deep on a lot of different things. It's just like
Mhm.
it's got everything and it's your
Yeah.
one-stop
It's a
tool.
full
But
ecosystem, but then you're locked into this is how it goes.
right. As somebody's like looking to make their tech stack easier, streamline things, less complication, like what are some things that somebody could look for? Like if they're looking at like a all-in-one kind of tool, like what are some things where it's like, you don't necessarily want to give up what you've already built? Like what kind of decision making goes into that does it really make their life easier to have an all-in-one tool?
It would depend what your goals are.
Yeah.
And I always reverse engineer it. Like, what are your goals? Where are
Right.
you at? What level are you? To some degree, it kind of depends on the nature of your business and how people find you and where they enter your funnel.
Mm,
Some people that I work with that are very specialized, they don't really need to have a lead magnet where they're just casting something wide and they've got a freebie that's just everybody. They only have clients who come to them at the consideration stage rather than the awareness stage,
yeah.
and they need different things. And so they might be at a different level where they need more sophisticated things in order to determine if you're going to get your money's worth out of one of those services, or if it's worth investing in, like, because it's a lot of setup. Like, you're really going to front load the setup time if you get into these all-in-one things, probably just as much or more as you would if you were piecemealing and picking and choosing your tools,
Hmm.
because it's a digitally connected world. Like, most of the tools that are out there now either have an API key. I'm getting nerdy now, but there's ways to make them talk to each other for the most part. It would be rare for you to pick two tools and be like, oh, well, that calendar doesn't work with that, you know, email system or whatever. There's ways to integrate them, but things like System.io, Go High Level.
Hmm.
I see a lot of coaches being talked into Go High Level for 100 and something a month before they're really ready for it. They're like, I'm not using all these things. But are you ready to level up and to ramp up to the point where you're going to use text messaging? You want to have automated emails going out. You've got promotions that you're sending, like you can plan campaigns in advance. I think the best thing about those, besides that everything lives there and you've kind of got your asset library all in one place for your marketing,
Yeah.
is that you can grow into it and you've got like an infinite way to scale. Like, now you can attach your courses, now you can attach webinars, you can add things onto that, and it still really should be the hub of your business, which I honestly feel like your website should be anyway. I feel
Right.
like people feel like SEO is like, oh, it's its own science. Yeah, it is, but you're creating it whether you realize it or not. So if
Yes.
you're not doing it intentionally, you're already falling short. And just being smart about how you set stuff up in your website and using it as the hub, and not sending people from your website somewhere else. Like, I oftentimes find somebody's got a beautiful website and they're linking out to other things. And I'm like, we don't know what the Google algorithm wants from one day to the next, except for a few things. And we do know that it really cares about dwell time. So
Hmm. Yeah.
getting someone to your, and it also gives you more domain authority if you have backlinking. So if
Right.
you're linking to your website from other places and then people stay and they watch a video or download a thing or read your about page or whatever it is, that's really doing well for you. And it's just math. It's going to compound. So you're going to start getting organic visibility and all that, because you're sending the signals back to the search engines that people are finding what they want when they come to you. So that's all we're really trying to do. And
Right.
everybody's hair is on fire about the AI assistants now, and SEO. It's not a different game. Yeah, you're going to show up in a different place, but the idea with a search engine is that you go ask a question and you get the answer. So if
Mhm.
you're putting out good content and you're answering questions in natural language that people are actually asking, you're going to show up in the search, whether it's Google or DuckDuckGo or ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using. It's happening organically already. So just be
Yeah.
smart about your content.
Yeah, that is such a good point because, both of us have been web developers and SEO has been part of it. And it's so funny because it's when I first started building on the web, it was just like, well, SEO is part of building your website and security is part of building your website. It's not a specialty, but now it kind of is. It's
Oh,
like
it
all these
absolutely is.
offshoots of specialties and everything. But I've always kind of see like a good website has all of that baked in. But the
Mhm.
AI thing, I think, scares a lot of people of like, well, AI is going to change, like search doesn't matter anymore. But I think AI is showing us how much good search engine optimization, good websites,
Mm,
answering people's questions,
exactly.
um, all of that. And like even with like YouTube marketing, it's all that's like the second largest search engine. So putting out videos that help people fix the toilet. I have a
Mm-hmm.
broken toilet, so I'm like, what's one of my searches that's up right now is
Yeah.
like, how do I fix this toilet?
I can't
Um,
remember the statistic, but search queries that have the words "how to" in it is
yeah.
like 68% of what's out
Oh,
there. Like, it's ridiculously high.
yeah.
So, if I could give everybody a single tip that would, I mean, it's not gonna change overnight because that's not how SEO works, but the single best thing that you could do for yourself right now is go look at your FAQs on your website. If you don't have one, you need one immediately, and
Yeah.
have the accordion drop downs be actual questions. How
Yeah.
do I do this? How does this work? What can I
Right.
expect from this? And you answer them in as much depth as you want inside that drop down. Just because the humans aren't seeing a whole wall of text on your website doesn't mean that the robots aren't.
Right. Right.
So
It's
the
still part of
fastest
the
way to
code that they're
embed
reading.
questions and answers in
Yeah.
your voice with all of the detail that you want is drop them in there. You can have a different FAQ accordion on each services page of your website. There's no
Yeah.
limit to what you can put on there, and it doesn't need to
Yeah.
be ugly and weird. And back in the days of the black hat tactics where people were keyword stuffing, and there'd be like these weird, they'd put white text on a white background to try and hide them, or they'd have like the bottom of a website would have like all the words:
Yeah.
landscaping in Hinsdale, landscaping in Chicago Heights, landscaping. No, you don't have 30 locations,
Yeah.
but you're trying to like stuff all the keywords in there. So, and I'm sorry, I was using a very specific example of somebody who can happen.
Nope,
Happens
I've
having
seen it all.
SEO.
I have seen it all. I have had to help
Yeah.
people recover from negative SEO that they did to themselves because they hired
Yes.
somebody to do SEO for them, and they
That's
did
what
all
I'm
of these, like,
doing.
really terrible backlinks, and then
Mhm.
you have to go clean all of that up. So,
I'm
yeah, I
cleaning up
think
a massive website right now, and I'm like, "Oh, honey, no, no, no." I believe they truly, but the SEO company she was using truly believed that they were doing the right things, but
mm,
10 years ago, yeah, but not
yeah,
now. So anyway,
yeah,
it's fine. It's a pleasure for me to redesign something in a way that's really going to move them forward, and they're excited about it. They're like, "Oh my
that's
god,
awesome.
I," they're like, "I thought this didn't seem right," and I'm like, "Oh, we could do better." And she's like, "I love this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do it all."
That's
So,
great. I think a lot of times technology scares, well, I'm going to, most coaches are in coaching because they want to coach. That's like,
yeah,
that's their passion. That's what they want to
yeah.
do. But they also know I need to do a website and it's this side thing. And they
Mm,
don't want to necessarily be technical. And I think a lot of times people who don't want to be technical, they make it overcomplicated. They think it's harder than it is, and
right.
so then they have this attitude of, "Well, I've got to go do the tech thing," and they make it harder, and that, I think that comes across in their content sometimes because they're in the mindset of, "This is hard, this is complicated, this is very important," and they make it too hard, and so
Exactly.
then it affects what they're doing with the website. What advice could you give someone, who they just wanna coach, but they also know they need to do all of the tech,
Hmm.
to kind of make it, to take it, demystify it a little bit, make it a little easier?
Two things. A very, very smart web designer that I follow. It's a husband and wife team. They use Show It. They don't specialize in Squarespace like I do, but he gets on stage and he says, your website only needs to do two things. It needs to answer the question, are you good at what you do? And can you do it for me too? And so
Mm,
that kind of encompasses everything. I will say your second most visited page on almost every website is the About Me. I also feel like, so what kind of dovetails on that? I feel like people are not using their contact page as well as it could be. Your contact page should be a kind of a mini About Me page. Your contact page doesn't need to be, hi, contact us. Here's a phone number. Here's the form. You can have your picture. You can have a video intro. You can have FAQs. Contact page is a perfect place for FAQs. If they didn't find the FAQs already while they were there, maybe they don't need to send you the message. They can just
yeah,
get their question answered. And then maybe they're going to send you a message of like, hey, how do we work together? Instead of, hey, how does this thing work? Because I'm not really sure. You can have all kinds of stuff there. So the key to all of it is be yourself. I mean, you're hearing it from all the social marketing gurus. authenticity. It's almost become a buzzword that nobody wants to say anymore, but it's because it's true. And
Hmm.
especially for coaches, especially in a business where it's one on one, it's people developing relationships. You're sometimes going very deep with people, they're trusting you deeply. That's what you need to get across. So, in your content, wherever you're putting it, it needs to be natural language, the way that you would talk to a girlfriend
Hmm.
or a client, but pretend you're going out for coffee with someone and they're just chatting about, oh, what do you do? What's your favorite thing about what you do? How did you get into it? Why do you love it so much? That's exactly the stuff that you want to put on your About Me page anyway.
Yeah.
It needs to be about them because the question in the back of your website visitor's mind is always, what's in it for me? There's a little
Yeah.
acronym for that. So keep that in mind. Your about page is never about you. It's about how you can provide a solution for them and why you might be the right fit for them. And that's all you're trying to do is establish a relationship and get your foot in the door and just take that awkward first meeting to the next step where they're like, oh, I really resonate with her goals and why she's doing it, and I can see she really loves it, and I see she has a passion for it, and all of that. And then you've started the know, like, and trust, and then they're going to consume more of your content. And the old marketing adage, it takes, they used to say 7 touch points before someone will do business with you. I've heard it up to 11 these days.
Yeah.
So you're going to feel like you're repeating yourself until you're blue if you're saying the same things everywhere, but being recognizable and memorable and
Mm.
consistent is the single biggest thing that you can do for your brand, visually and in your messaging. So I can talk about color psychology for another 3 hours.
Yeah.
Um, so your visuals need to be very consistent, but your message is what matters the most, and that's what's going to connect with people. So don't overcomplicate it and just be yourself and just talk naturally, because like we already talked about, it's natural language
Right.
that like the search engines are looking for. That's the whole point behind all of this, all of these assistants that people are using, with the exception of the agentic things where it's robot, where it's actually doing things for you. The language models, and that's what they're called, it's a large language model. They're processing words, and
Hmm.
coaching is all about the words. I know because
Yeah.
I'm a wordy person myself, but it's all about the words. And so just talk in a natural language, because
Yeah.
why the search is evolving is to get better results for the people. So if I can type a whole question in and get an answer back in natural language that was word for word the answer to the question that I asked, then that's what's going to rise to the top. So be that person, be a resource for the people who are genuinely searching for what you offer.
For sure. Yeah, and the other thing too is like different people communicate in different ways, and you
Mhm.
want to connect with people who communicate like you. They're going to
Mhm.
vibe with you. They're going to see things in the same way. They're going to use the same words, the same terminology, and you want to have your content sort of filter out the people who don't, the people who
Exactly.
get you, who understand you. And that's going to show up it's going to show up in the very first touch point, in the very first how do I question that somebody asks to ChatGPT or in a Google search, wherever they're asking it, they're going to use the language that resonates with
Mhm.
them. So by using the language that resonates with you, you're automatically filtering out the problem clients, we'll say, right? You're
Like,
finding your
yeah,
people, your tribe.
exactly. And the same thing with people unsubscribing from your email list. That's fantastic because then your percentage numbers, your open rate goes up, your engagement rate goes up. You don't want people lingering on your list just to pad the numbers.
Right.
You don't
I mean, it doesn't do anything for you. And then you'll get to the point where you're paying more because you're paying rent for
exactly.
somebody to be on your list, and it's just
If you
pointless.
have 1,000 people on your list, but only 100 of them are engaging, it would be much better to have 200 people on your list and have 100
Right.
engaging, because then you've got
Right.
50% engagement. 50% is ridiculously good. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, the other thing I was going to say about what you said too was people are going to self select out of your circle when they hear things that aren't for them. You're not speaking in a way that's exclusionary necessarily, but they're just going to be like, oh, okay, that's not my person. So
Yeah.
I work with a lot of different copywriters, and copywriting in particular, you have to jibe because that person needs to step into your shoes and be able to talk like you if you're hiring them for that job. So There's a couple of them that I love that I'm friends with on LinkedIn. I'm friends with from local networking groups, and they use curse words in their copy and they're very sassy and all of that. I admire that they're very confident in what they do and that's their personality and they put that out there. I would never use one of them for my own website because that's not how I talk and that's not who I am. We're still friends. I love them. They're genius at what they do, just not my vibe. So you're going to find the right people by being yourself. That's what's magnetic about it. And
Yeah.
the other thing too that really makes it useful for you to be repurposing your content into different formats with that same message is people's learning styles are different.
Right.
So maybe somebody's going to respond to your message as a carousel in a completely different way than they would respond to a video. Maybe the video attracts somebody different. Sometimes it's your learning style. Sometimes it's just the time of day that somebody's consuming your content. If I'm on the train commuting home from downtown, I'm going to watch a full video with the captions on, read the whole thing, read a long form article. If I'm in the car and I can't really be looking at stuff, I'm going to listen to a podcast from somebody to learn more about them. So repeating your message and having it in written form and in visual form and in video form is phenomenal. And reusing little parts of that so that you turn your best content into little sound bites that you can share over and over in different places. Again, you're going to feel like you're blue in the face talking about the same things, but that's exactly what you need to do because
Oh,
even your own most engaged followers, the algorithm is only showing them 10% of what you're putting out. So do the math on that. It's crazy.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about social media and all of the different networks and all of the different ways people get connected, all of the different ways the algorithm sorts that for us. With so many people on social media and spending their downtime on social media, does blogging or creating content on your own site, does it still matter?
It matters the most. So
Yes.
the absolute ideal content creation system is start with your long form and then create other things from that. And if you're a video person, if you're comfortable with it, you've got the tech, you do better talking, do video because you can always get a transcript from the video, edit that, and turn that into your blog. Then you've got a written blog, and then you can embed your YouTube video or wherever you're hosting your video. You can have the video content embedded on your website so that when someone finds that article as the answer to one specific question, they've got the choice to consume it either way. And then you're also showing up consistently across the board everywhere else because then you're cutting those things up into smaller portions. So I always tell people my rule is 5. If you can have 5 kind of subtopics for each long form thing that you do, and by long form I'm talking 2,500 to 3,000 words is kind of the sweet spot for a minimum. Like you can
Mhm.
have short blog things that are just like a quick article. People are still going to read those too, but really for what I call your cornerstone content of like you figured out what your core values are, you figured out what your content pillars need to be, those few buckets that you're going to talk about consistently, then you want to break those up so that you've got one title that's an H1. Now I'm getting nerdy about the SEO part, but if you have 5 headings and you've got 5 separate sections, and the heading for each section then is a full sentence and it's a question that you're answering in the paragraph below it, you've just 5x your SEO
Sure.
visibility by doing that. And then you've got obvious ways to break that up into share, and you can go deeper on each one of those things. So maybe on social media, you then take one point from that article and you talk about just that one point and you go live. Now you've got another video and another thing that you can take a transcript of, and then maybe you can make a carousel with visuals or illustrations that go with your point, or you can have an infographic or whatever. And it's the same topic over and over and over and over again. And
Yeah.
it's the consistency is going to matter. And
Right.
honestly,
Well,
it gives you a very focused way to produce content that doesn't feel overwhelming because you don't have to talk about anything else except those things.
right. And it really helps people understand who you are, who you're
Mm-hmm.
serving, what your mission is, and it makes you memorable, right? Is if you
And
can, because
confident.
I've had the problem of so many people know me as the security person, bunch of people know me as the coach person, and a bunch of people know me as a web developer, and God knows what else I've got. But I talk to all these different audiences, and I'm still getting people like, hey, can you do security talk on security and AI? And I'm like, I can, but like, do I really want to, like, who am I going to market that to? But it's so hard if you don't know who you are, who you serve, and you can serve multiple audiences, but like if you mix them all, it's like something just doesn't belong. And they're like, wait a minute, who are you again? You need to have that succinct thing. So if you have your content figured out and you're just like hitting those same points over and over again, there's no confusion, is there?
Yeah. You're not limiting the services you can offer. And you and I know a coach that calls it the back pocket offer. You can
Yeah.
have all these other things that you do. Like I can do SEO. That's not what I go out and market myself to do, but I'm certainly not going to build a website and not be thinking about SEO at the beginning. I mean, I'm going to figure out your top level navigation based on SEO because those words matter too. So that's going to be part of the equation. But I'm going to talk about websites for coaches because that's what I want more of. That's the other problem. So I've actually taken things out of my own portfolio. Do I do logo design? Yeah. Is that what I want to do a lot more of? Absolutely not. I'll do it as part of a website design project, but I'm not out there going, I'm not going to go compete with somebody from another country that's on Fiverr that's doing it for $15. Like,
Yeah. And you'd be bored if all you ever was doing was just like logos over and over again, because you're just like so strategic. You see the whole package. So
I do. I feel like I've been told by my clients that what I do best is see possibilities. And I have noticed that not everybody thinks in 3D the way I do. And I can do the creative stuff, but I also get really nerdy about the strategy. And as I'm talking with somebody, I'm picturing this whole flow chart of all their systems, and I can look at all of it and go, well, there's your gap right there. This isn't talking to this, or you missed this, and that could be more consistent, or you said you wanted this, but yet you're doing this. So it's kind of, I've immersed myself in the whole thing because your website's just one part of the bigger picture, and it doesn't exist in a vacuum. So it should be the center, and it definitely shouldn't be an afterthought. If you're just starting out, I know there's a lot of coaches who say, oh, you don't need a website. Yes, you don't need to stress out about it at the beginning. You definitely need something. You need something.com that's yours that you can direct people to, even if that's just a one-pager placeholder thing. I've got website platforms. I can do a one-page website for you for $38 on this one, and you can link out to other things, and it gives you a presence so that you look like you're legit. It used to be, people, I still like printed business cards. I still do business card design as part of your suite of assets if we're designing a whole brand for you. But a lot of people want the digital business card, or the first thing I'm going to do is like, what's your website? If somebody says, oh, I don't have one, I'm like, well, are you really a business then? I mean, that's honestly the first thing that goes through my head. And not just because I'm a web designer, not because I'm trying to find out and sell them one. It's like, really, how are you doing business then in this world if you don't have a website? That's really weird to me. So
yeah, it's just so foundational. And so is like having a domain-based email and not using your Gmail for business. I mean, well, I still use my Gmail calendar and everything like that, but have something that clients can contact you with that is your domain, that is you, that is recognizable and professional. It's so important.
That's your little piece of real estate on the World Wide Web that you own.
Yeah.
And also, I just wanted to throw out there, I believe, I may be wrong, I believe it is actually federal law. It's illegal for you to market to someone with a personal address if you are a business. If you are a business, you need a business email address, and it is against all the canned spam laws and all of that.
Oh, for
In
sure.
some cases, when you go to set up an email marketing CMS system, it won't even let you set one up if you don't have a .com email,
Yeah.
because that's their way of verifying that you are a business. So it's where domain names are $20 a year, maybe 24 for some of the other top level ones that have gone up a little bit.
Cloudflare has them for less than $10.
I mean, depending on where you start, you can get your first year for like $7.98, and then it goes up a little bit from there. And then some of the quirky ones are going up just because they've become more popular. So I had a client that just got a renewal notice and he's like, this is $41. And I'm like, are you gonna let that go? Like you haven't like pay the $41. Come on.
Yeah.
It went up
Yeah.
15. Yeah, it went up
So
$15. It was a big jump. But like, are you gonna let your entire business go because your domain name went up a few dollars? Come on.
yeah.
So um
I want to ask you, because I come from the WordPress world and I know you love Squarespace. I have only worked on one Squarespace website. I would love for you to talk about what you love about Squarespace, why you think it's good for coaches. Sing the praises of Squarespace for me.
I love Squarespace with every fiber of my being. I have been using it since version 5 for those of you out there that have dabbled. Please be impressed because that's a really long time. Um, it number one, it's just gotten better and better. And what I love about it, and I could have chosen to specialize in anything. I could have become a WordPress developer. I really don't love WordPress. I love that there's other people out there that love WordPress the way I love Squarespace because I do not love WordPress. I will do anything but WordPress. I love that you love it. Squarespace, straight out of the gate, is what I choose for people who aren't techie, that don't want to worry about stuff, that don't want a high learning curve, but want to look good. I feel like
Mhm.
Squarespace is gorgeous straight out of the gate. Their templates are good. I feel like if you don't customize it enough, it looks like a template and people go, oh, that's Squarespace. I do
Yeah.
custom CSS. I customize every web. I don't even start with a template. I haven't started with a template for years. In fact, when they rolled out the new version, there used to be a little button when you got to the part where you're picking your template. There used to be a button that said start with a blank. And they took the button away when they rolled
Oh,
out the new version. And all of us pro users were like, where's the blank template button? I don't want a template. It's going to take more time for me to delete everything that's in the template that I didn't want than it would for me to just build from scratch. So now they've kind of taken the training wheels off because the latest version allows you to do literally anything. And they have added all these beautifully designed sections that you can just pick and choose. So you can
mhm.
you can have the AI start helping you. You can answer questions, kind of like TurboTax. Does your business do this? Yes or no? Okay, then add this section. It's really easy to set
Yeah.
something up that looks beautiful. You almost can't go wrong. And then you need to make some considered choices for your fonts and your colors, and that's a whole thing about what makes you want typography and a color scheme that matches the vibe that you're going for, that matches not so much your personality. Don't pick your favorite colors unless you feel really strongly about one, and that's your whole vibe is that color. But you want colors that are going to attract the type of people that you want to work with. So I mean, an easy kind of stereotypical way to talk about that would be you're not going to fill your website with pink if you cater to men. Also,
Mhm.
you're not going to have a website that's like brown and navy blue if you're a yoga studio, but you might if you do outdoor adventures, so match all of that to the visual impression that you want to make on people. What's fantastic about Squarespace for the users is, yeah, it's that easy drag and drop. So it's visually very easy to use, but then they've added all these other things. So you can have courses, you can have paid membership areas that
Oh,
are
wow.
behind a paywall, you can have e-commerce. It's all built in, and you actually get it as part of your plan as a business. You're not getting it all in the personal plan, and you shouldn't be using a personal plan if you're a business. But all of this stuff is baked in. So if you want to have digital products, sell them from your own website. If you want to sell tickets to a virtual event or a
Yeah.
local event, do that on your website. They have a subscription based thing. So there's literally nothing anybody's ever asked me to do for them that I haven't been able to build in Squarespace, with or
Wow.
without kind of adding some little, they don't really have plugins the way WordPress
Mhm.
does, but there are third-party developers that have little snippets of code that will allow us to
Sure.
customize it and do different things. So, and that's where the fun comes in. I can build a website in a day if I have to. What I want to spend some time on is, oh, maybe you've got some beautiful portfolio pictures, and as someone hovers over each one, it flips over and becomes a little description, or turns from black to white, or like black and white to color, that kind of thing, and just adding adding some of the bells and whistles that make it interactive. I don't go really crazy with animations. I really don't like it when I go to a website and like each block of text is sliding in from one side or the other. It's
Yeah.
like, just put the words in front of my face so that I can read. I have bifocals. I don't, I don't need a circus. I just want to read some
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
that's just my aesthetic. There are people who love the site-wide animations, and you can just toggle them on. There's one place you can go and just go site-wide animations, and you can
Nice.
say, I want them to fade, I want them to slide. If that's your vibe, it does it for you. It's great. And then
That's
back to SEO again, the other thing that Squarespace does really well is it either creates the metadata for you in some cases. So you have to be smart about what words you're putting on your page because it's going to populate it for you. So you have a choice of doing it intentionally if you really want to be smart about it. It's not going to be blank if you leave it blank, though. It's going to pull that from other places. So what shows up in Google search is coming straight from the content on your pages. So you're never left high and dry. But then
yeah.
there's tons of ways to do better with that. And now there's a third-party tool called SEO Space, which is similar to what WordPress has with Yoast.
Yeah.
And my beef, and we've talked about this before, my beef with WordPress people are the people who say WordPress is better for SEO. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Has WordPress had an SEO tool that's been built in for free for longer? Yes, absolutely. Does it do anything for you? No. It tells you what's wrong, but if you don't know how to fix it and you don't actually do the work, it doesn't do anything for you. So
Yeah.
SEO it's a system, it's a strategy. It's not it's platform agnostic. Some people
Mhm.
are saying that.
Right.
And I
Right.
absolutely believe that. There are tiny things about Squarespace I don't have control over, some of the really deep developer code behind the scenes. And so there's
Yeah.
only so many things I can do to speed up the site loading and some of the technical junk behind the scenes. Yes, that's also true that some Squarespace websites don't load, but we're talking microseconds. Like
Yeah.
it's 3 microseconds slower than the same thing on WordPress or something like that. So I don't feel like it's holding you back at all with the technical abilities and everything that it offers and your ability to start with something simple and then just keep growing and adding on. You can build anything. I love Squarespace. I love
Awesome.
and I love the Squarespace community and the support and
Yeah.
they're looking forward to all of the things that they're continuing to add. It's amazing. They're very secure and they have a really high uptime, which is really
Yeah.
good. So
Excellent.
there's just
Cool.
nothing to worry about. It's easy, it's fast, it's beautiful. It helps you do all the right things. It's really hard to go wrong with it.
Okay. Rhonda, thank you so much for joining me
Oh,
today.
absolutely.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they find, if they're listening, we'll have everything in the description and
Okay.
on the website, but if they are listening, how do they find you?
My website is visionandmomentum.com because I believe that you need both if you're a small business owner.
Yeah.
And I am really only active on LinkedIn. I made a real
Yeah.
commitment to myself and to my friend who's a LinkedIn trainer. She's
Yeah.
like, you got to be over here. This is where you should be. And my gosh, I have tripled the number of people that are on my email list. I'm closing in on 1,000 followers now, and I'm like, I had like 28 followers in January. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
there's definitely, yeah. I told her, please feel free to say I told you so publicly as often as you want to, because I obviously, when I go in and look at my analytics, it's just straight uphill. So definitely, if you're a business, be on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. It's not the stuffy corporate guys in suits thing anymore. It's people being themselves and really making human connections. And I really believe that's what 2020 was about. I feel like that was God going, you know what? All you really have on this marble is each other, and
Yes.
you need to figure it out.
Yes.
So it's all about relationships and being yourself, and the right people will find you. That's the people you want to work with anyway. You don't want somebody coming to you that's skeptical and inflexible and not open to what you're going to talk about with them. And as a coach in particular, that's so important, is finding the right person. And there's enough work to go around. Heaven knows all of us as humans need other humans to talk to. So there's never not going to be people out there for you, and just own your gifts and talk about them, and don't feel like you're talking into the void or repeating yourself, because the right people are out there listening.
For sure. Yes. And if you're not out there, how's magic going to happen?
Exactly.
And that's what I'm here for. What brought us together, I think, was a little bit of magic. And yeah, so I am so happy that I met you, and so happy that you are now one of my new friends. And
Thank you.
I am so happy you came
You
on this
are a
podcast.
shining light in my circle of friends too. Every time I see your name
Oh.
in your face, I'm like, oh, Kathy.
I appreciate that so much. And I appreciate you, Rhonda. Thank you so much for
Thanks for having
just
me.
so much for everything, but especially, of course, for being on the podcast. And
Well, thank you for letting me talk about all my favorite things.
yes, it was wonderful. Thank you. And
Thank
we will
you.
see you next time on
Yeah.
Coach Factory.